Today's project is something I wanted to do to this car for a long time. I had to take the doors apart because I'm about to do the floorboards, and one of the projects is to remove the window regulator and rework it. So the problem I have with this is, I don't know how many of y'all have this same problem, but these pins are just regular steel and they tend to rust. So these little rollers that go on there, they end up freezing. They get frozen to this little pin and they won't spin anymore, and then the window becomes hard to crank. And I found myself grabbing the window and kind of helping it up so that when I close it I get a good seal all the way around. It doesn't just, you know, roll up like it's new. So maybe 35 years ago or so, I took this apart and I cleaned these up and I lubed them, and they only lasted a couple of years before they froze, and then the window was hard to do again. So I've been living with it ever since then. So my project: make new pins out of 304 stainless so they won't rust anymore. So what I'm doing is grinding these little nubs off the back, and I drive out the little pin. I turn one out of 304 stainless I got in my lathe right here, and then I just weld it in.
And it's as simple as that. You'll notice, so I don't know if you can actually see it that well, but the way I have my bits set up, when I am cutting the diameter down to go into the hole in the regulator, it's also creating the taper that goes on the end of the next one. So it's a single process, and all I have to do is whack it off. Okay, so I'm using the grinder here to grind a groove. It's just a 16th wide carbide, and I've not been having good luck with cutoff tools. I tend to just ruin the thing I'm working on. So I'm using the grinder to grind the groove in, then I use the hacksaw to whack it off, so I'm not actually using a cutoff tool. I also waste less material that way. Anyway, so it's 3/8 304 stainless rod, so it's exactly the right size I need for the rollers. And the diameter I'm turning it down to is 280 thousandths. They probably started out as 1/4 inch, but when they swedged in the original pins, it swole the hole up. Anyway, so here I just drive it in. It's a nice interference fit, and then I weld it, grind off the back side, and on to the next one. I also decided to weld up the center pin because it was loose. Both the pin for the main pivot and that where the scissor is in the middle, they were both loose as well, so I welded them up.
My recommended lubrication for the regulators, I use motorcycle chain lube. Goes on liquid, goes way in, then turns into a gooey stuff that doesn't harden. It's really good lube. And there it is, complete. Nice, perfect little pins. The rollers roll perfectly, and they will stay that way. This is something I wanted to do for over 30 years.